Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. It's a special one. All JM. Coach Trev, Jolly Olive the Decider is here. We're giving out daisies. Or petals? Yeah. Scooble, Skeens, you're both out.
I'm Byron Buxton, Homer.
Oh, who are you?
Spoilers. I won't tell.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek, code Talkin' 2025. I am Jake Storielli. That is the artist known as Jolly Olive, joining Coach Trevor Plouffe, road dogging it in beautiful Sacramento. Welcome to all JM people. If you are new here, it's a prestigious club. Baseball actually started doing it, I think the year after we started doing it, that they did like an all MLB team. Because if you go through history, the All-Star game is kind of a tough measure. Sometimes that's just 1.5 good months that we decide the real ballers of this fantastic game. Trevor, out on the West Coast, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to yuck it up with you young fellas. I think we have like maybe the biggest apology, and I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a center fielder in the National League that our all April team, I don't think recognized, and that was a tough one.
The changes that have gone on through Jolly Olive these past couple years. Look at the watch. Look at the watch was showing in that first shot.
Okay.
Yep.
It's the hair. It's always the hair for Jolly.
Thanks for watching on YouTube if you are.
How are you, Jack Oliver?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here. I was honored to get the invite. A little nervous. You know, this is an important thing. You don't want to mess it up. We have a couple three-way ties we'll have to talk about.
Yeah.
Not to spoil, but they're coming. But I'm excited because some guys are going to get a pedal today that I think really deserve it. And, you know, it's always fun to brush up on who's running the league at every position.
Well, and I was excited to get into it because I was like, June, a lot of these have to be sorted out, right? There's a couple unanimous across the three of us. And yeah, we'll see. We're trying to get a deciding vote from John. We might just bully Jolly or Dalton. We will see. The good news is the first one that we can be the highest and tightest about, your American League catcher, is Cal Raleigh, only because of the historic pace he's on. Jolly, I'll kick to you. Me and Trev have kind of got our thoughts off on Talking Baseball on Cal the last little bit. Do you have anything to add?
I mean, you guys have done a really good job of covering the Seattle Mariners in a fair and just way. The biggest thing I want to add is that when you look at the pronunciation on his baseball reference page, it says rhymes with Jolly. And I always get a big kick out of that because I'm on his page a lot. So shout out Cal. Having a great year.
That's why we brought him in.
Not what we were hoping for.
Snaps for Cal Raleigh. A shout out. If you're a WAR person, the only one sneaking up on him are Carlos Narvaez and Dylan Dingler. So it looks like a youth movement at AL catchers right now. O'Hoppe, Langeliers. But Cal Raleigh has been dominating, so he will be your American League catcher yet again after a big April. And a reminder, the All JM team is brought to you by SeatGeek. Go see these guys play. That's the whole deal. That's the whole thing. Whether you're in Sacto, whether you're on the East Coast or West Coast, use SeatGeek. Code Talkin 2025, the #1 rated ticketing app. That's pretty good. And when you use code Talkin 2025, you're going to get 10% off any tickets with SeatGeek. Whether you've used the code before or not, you're listening to Talkin' Baseball. You probably are going to go to a game this year. Use code Talkin 2025, save 10%. Maybe go see Trev in Sacto. Maybe see me at the stadium tonight. How do you like that? SeatGeek, they're the best. Go check them out. Go see a game. Part of the reason I'm getting that in is because first base, I think, is going to get gnarly, and I don't have a solution. Spencer Torkelson won it in April. Trev, there's 4 candidates all in the same area. We each picked a different one. I should tell the people, we submitted our picks before this because we wanted to see a couple of the landmines that we could possibly run into. AL first base is one of them. Trev, let me hear your thoughts on it.
Usually my thought process is, look, if you have a pedal from a previous month, then you have to get knocked off completely. And I'm actually willing to be convinced on this one because this is obviously was a tough position. I went with the Jonathan Aranda. I think for the Tampa Bay Rays, they've made a nice little run here to get back into the swing of things, and he's been the most consistent player on their team all year long. He's 3.45ing it, which I like. He leads in OPS over a Goldschmidt, although it's very, very close. Goldschmidt has an 889 OPS. Aranda has a 913. The WARs here, they're too similar to really go on about. Aranda has played every game at first base, and he rates out as a positive defender there. So it's to me again, yeah, we could go to Paul Goldschmidt. You could look at a Torkelson because he won it in April, and it's still pretty close. But if you're just looking at the numbers, I'm going with Jonathan Aranda here.
Jack?
I did go with Spencer Torkelson. Part of that was the rationale that Trev mentioned of you have to get knocked off if you already have a pedal. I will say that it was pretty tough between him and Aranda for me, but I just thought position-wise, what do you think of when you think of first base? You think of pull power, you think of home runs. Spencer Torkelson leads the pack that we have here with 14 home runs. The batting average isn't quite there, but again, when we think of Torque and when he's right, the biggest thing he can do for that Tigers offense is provide power, because a lot of those guys are, just contributors and they need a big-time run producer. Torque's been that guy, plays for the best team, has the most RBIs, has the most home runs. That's what I went with here.
Yeah, I guess, and as Trevor revealed, I went Goldie, just because I thought it came down to him and Aranda. Seeing Torkelson in the batting average OBP where it's landed compared to Goldie and Aranda with elite stuff, like we're getting on base at a 400 clip, where both of those guys are hitting above 320, which I value. Torkelson's hitting 239. He's getting on base at a 347 clip. He does have more pop than both of those guys. That, for me, it came down to Aranda and Goldie. Nobody's talking about Paul Goldschmidt's 4 stolen bases, which I think that's just odd. And yeah, I guess watching the veteran defense every day of Goldie compared to Aranda, I did lean that way. I guess, and maybe this is our gentleman's way to see if we can shake this out. If I'm not Goldie, like if these were ballots, I would be Aranda.
Interesting.
Wait, what?
Second place, Trev? That's what people would call it in other factions.
Okay. If Goldie wasn't on the list, you would choose Aranda over Torkelson, is what you're saying.
You're all over it.
This is tough for me. I mean, Torkelson has meant so much to the Tigers team too, and where does that land on all JM? I think that's the real question here. If you want me to guess or give my second place, I think that's an interesting way to go about it. Okay, I would go Torkelson with my second place vote here.
You can be honest, Jolly.
My second place is Aranda. I did say that before.
I know you did, and that's why I teed it up, and that's where we are our own political system here at JM Baseball. Congratulations, MVP balloting for Jonathan Aranda, who does deserve a lot of love. Hey, I've got no problem with the 3-4-5, and I think maybe I'm wrong here, but it feels like none of these guys, in a way, the loser I don't feel bad for, because I don't think that one of these guys will be our utility pick. Like, I think there's just other... these guys have both left a window open to not win the daisy. So that's where or the pedal. That's where I feel better about it.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's just for me. Congrats to Jonathan Aranda and the Rays. That Rays lineup can look pesky.
Sneaky.
At American League second base, I think the topic of conversation, because we have a unanimous pick, and Gleyber Torres deserves some love because as a hitter, it's no contest. 386 on base, the only AL second baseman with an OPS in the 8s at the end of this. Brandon Lau, Jackson Holiday make the list as hey, how are ya? Both of those guys have had struggles. Ernie Clement got thrown on here, but he's played 35 at third, 19 at second base. That I guess I'll let you guys go wherever you want with it, but I think for all of the other factors I listed, Gleyber's been amazing.
Yeah, I think Ernie's going to end up playing more third base than anywhere up there in Toronto, so I don't... it's fine that we consider him. And if he had like some banging numbers, maybe we'd have to go into it a little bit more. But I think Glaber overall, he just has the better offensive numbers. And I do like the fact that we are seeing a little bit of resurgence from Jackson Holiday. Just keep getting that advice from your pops, bro. Like maybe keep him around. Like he's your teacher, man, right? Like let's go. Fly him in every once in a while. And then B-Lau, yes, B-Lau's been another reason why the Rays have gone on, a little bit of a run here to get back into the swing of things. But I think Glaber, we all have him as our guy, and I think that it is well deserved. I did not know, by the way, that he had 28 walks to 22 strikeouts, and what gets me going.
That's the biggest thing for me. I mean, I was shocked that I landed Glaber because in my mind he didn't stick out to me as having like a great season. I knew that he was a bounce back guy. And Lau, he leads the pack in home runs. He's still getting killed by lefties. But Glaber, I just think he's the most well-rounded pick, and I was really surprised at how kind of, not to be mean, but like, the crop here is kind of underwhelming. Like, I'm happy that Jackson Holliday's here, and he's been, borderline the most productive player on the Orioles besides like Ryan O'Hearn, but this one is very clearly Glaber, and the Tigers keep racking up pedals.
I'm trying to think of other second basemen that aren't listed here that, we had Christian Campbell in April, and he's hit a rough patch, and I'm going through the AL second baseman, and it's kind of just a mixed bag. Like a lot of teams are using that as a util spot, kind of moving guys through it.
Jazz got hurt for the Yankees. He just came back, but he was putting up numbers that compared to these guys, he would be in the mix. But now he's playing some third base for the Yankees, so. Altuve got kicked to left field.
I'm a little surprised Dylan Moore didn't make the cut here. He's been having a nice year, but he kind of bounces around too.
He bounces around quite a bit as well, yes.
That's a hashtag Dalton problem.
Yeah, we got beef.
Congrats to Gleyber Torres. 1 year, $15 million. Could have been on your guys' team. And yeah, that on-base percentage, that's special enough that he walks away with it. In April at shortstop, Bobby Witt Jr. Okay, yeah. That's I think we've penciled that in for the next 8 years or so at least. Those option years start going in Kansas City. That might be changing. I cast my vote for Jeremy Pena, a recent star of the show. Double entendre there, Trev. He is racking up WAR. If you are a B-WAR person, it's Stop the Fight. 3.6. Next on the list is Bobby with 2.7. Where the hitting has been this year is only kind of rivaled by Jacob Wilson so far. And Jeremy Pena always plays with the glove. So I went Pena.
I know what I submitted, but
oh boy.
The more and more I look at this.
Look at it.
I don't know what you submitted. So
the more and more I look at this. I submitted Jeremy Pena, but the more and more I look at this, Bobby Witt's the best defensive shortstop in the game. Jeremy Pena is having a fine defensive season. I think he rates in the upwards of the 90th percentile. Now it's above average. Bobby Witt blows him out of the water there. Bobby Witt did win the pedal in April, and the offensive numbers are not too far off. I think Pena has him by 20 points in OPS, and Bobby Witt has him by 11 stolen bases. So he's running the bases better than him. He plays a better defensive shortstop, and then numbers are pretty similar offensively. I think I'm switching over to Bobby Witt Jr. here.
So I'll say this in defense of Bobby, and not to attack Pena.
It feels like you're attacking Pena.
I'm going to attack Pena just a little bit. He's having a really nice year. I looked into splits. 975 OPS at home, 679 on the road. He has a 555 slug at home, and that's because every home run he's hit has been pull power, left field, 6 of his 9 Crawford boxes. I feel like that influences it. I also gave Bobby the benefit of the doubt because of his lineup. There's infinitely more pressure on Bobby to perform compared to Pena because the Astros are a more cohesive offense, in my opinion. And but everyone kind of knows when you watch a Royals game, it's like you're just kind of waiting for Bobby to do something and maybe someone else will contribute. So I gave Bobby the benefit of the doubt in that way. And the numbers I think are close enough that he's not fully knocked off. But this one was definitely tough because Pena's having a really nice year.
Jolly, here I am.
Once again.
Looking at the screen, looking at Mary, Pippin, and Aragorn, thinking we're going to team up against the big guy in the middle today.
Got betrayed.
Houston, I fought for you. I always want them to remember that. You guys
I
are
also
locked.
saw
Bobby Witt Jr.
And tell me if this is wrong. I mean, I watched Bobby Witt's at bat last night against the Cardinals, and he worked an 0-2 count back and drove in some runs. I saw him make an incredible play.
Last night doesn't
he's
exist.
in my mind
Last
also,
night doesn't
but
exist.
It's a good point.
I do think that all these numbers are close enough when you mix in the base running and the defensive ability. I just it has to be Bobby Witt.
Congratulations to Bobby Witt Jr. I have no shame saying it. Houston, stand up. Get in the comment section. You guys usually do. Wow. The folks aren't going to like that. And you know what? I kind of love it. How about the doubles? Bobby Witt 21-9. And now I'm fighting for him. Pena plays really good defense too. That's tough. This was one of the tougher ones. And young Jacob Wilson not getting a ton of love while he's hitting 345, 387 on base, the highest OPS, playing some defense himself. He's a fine ball player. The fact he didn't get more love is tough. But this was a good one. This is a good position. Happy for the AL shortstops right now.
JP Crawford's back too.
JP Crawford, Bichette's playing well. Volpe has been.
Carlos Correa has been playing really well, you guys. I actually saw Carlos Correa Houston Astros jersey at the game last night. How about that?
You mentioning Volpe made that happen. I want you to know.
I know.
You mentioned your team
regret it.
shortstop, so
I
he was
mean,
like,
God,
"Oh, it's
I
okay to
regret
mention mine."
No,
Have
I
you watched
regret it.
Carlos Correa play shortstop? It's incredible.
It is
Moving
nice.
on, maybe,
I do like that.
Okay.
Great footwork.
American League third base is interesting for a couple reasons. Is the reign of Junior Caminero on its way? Probably not this episode, but it seems like it's happening in live time. Michael Garcia has been playing great. Isaac Paredes only.
This one was tough. I'm a big Jose Ramirez fan, like every person that watches the sport of baseball. And Bregman is hurt. I don't really know what the timetable is there. Red Sox fans, let us know. I did go Bregman on this because we are judging the first 2 months, and Bregman has been the guy, like MVP type caliber play from him. 11 home runs. Like Boston just seems like a really good fit. He's probably going to opt out on that contract, maybe get a new one. We'll talk about that if we want. Leads the pack in WAR, both sides of it, has the highest OPS plus. Just kind of doing a little bit of everything. And I got to watch Boston play because my Mets went to Fenway. He can still definitely pick it at third base. He still works a really tough at bat. He's just playing, I think, the best baseball he's played in 5 years back in 2019 when he was running the show over in Houston. It's tough for J-Ram because he brings all these dimensions to his plate. He leads the pack in stolen bases by a long shot, but I still think it's going to be Bregman, but I wouldn't be surprised if J-Ram takes it next month and the month after.
Coach?
I'm looking some stuff up. You go ahead.
Oh. Game time decision.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay.
This one was tough. Like Jolly
Yeah,
said,
sorry.
I mean, look, we have basically two candidates. Again, these offensive numbers are pretty similar. Like you can't let Bregman being on the IL now skew what he's done for the first 2 months. I do agree with that. He did win in April. He's not going to have a chance to win in June. So you can't really think about, is he going to have a silver daisy here? Initially, I was thinking J-Ram. And here's where I'm at. When the numbers offensively are this similar, you go offense, you go stolen bases. That's kind of the way we go. J-Ram has him by a mile in stolen bases. 14 stolen bases for him, 1 for Alex Bregman. It's not his game, Pop. Right. It's not his game right now. It's not the Red Sox game.
No.
What is their game? That's a question for later. But Alex Bregman has been playing better defensive ball than Jose Ramirez. So where do you land?
I went J-Ram. Again, the offensive profile is back and forth. Homers, Bregman, J-Ram runs, RBI, Bregman, stolen bases, J-Ram by a lot. Stealing bases at an elite level. At 14, it's not like he's 7 and he's like when J-Ram gets on base, he's looking to steal. 324 batting average, J-Ram. OBP, Bregman by .03. Slug, like the OPSs are right there. You're right. It goes to defense or base running. defensively with J-Ram, I'll ask Cleveland, like, if they're feeling something different over there, let me know, because, Breggy just won the Gold Glove, and third base has been a hot topic in Boston this year. I guess for me, the elite stolen bases, as it has done for J-Ram, has pushed me over. And if I wanted to, I could also team you guys, because if we're sometimes we use that for players. Like, J-Ram is Cleveland.
Yeah.
They are winning again. That, again, in a way that shouldn't be held. I guess I'm not holding that against Bregman, who has done everything, but in a way I can give a point to Ramirez for that.
I think, because I'm a huge ball knower,
Oh.
right now, me trying to decide this on a small sample defensive metric, I can't.
Whoa.
I think I got to go J-Ram here. He's been positive defensively pretty much his entire career, so the numbers will be there at the end of the year. I'm going J-Ram.
I have no qualms with this, by the way.
This was, as AL third baseman has been for a lot of the times, and for a lot of the times, the winner is Jose Ramirez. Snaps. There will be no Daisy this year at AL third base. Ain't that it? Before we head to the outfield, let me tell you about who is Hims. Not Trevor Plouffe. I'm talking about Hims, the product. If ED is getting you down, you got to get up. You need Hims to help get your confidence back. Stay hard and last longer. Boing. Whenever the mood strikes. Hims is changing men's health care by providing you with access to affordable sexual health treatments from the comfort of your couch. The process is 100% online. There's no need for uncomfortable doctor's visits. So start your free online visit today at hims.com/talkin. That's Hims, HIMS.com/talkin for your personalized ED treatment options. hims.com/talkin. The products mentioned are chewable, compounded products that were not approved or verified or safety and effectiveness by the FDA. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Prices vary based on product and subscription plan. So in that American League outfield, April, it was everyone you thought. It was Cedric Mullins. It was Judge. It was Abreu. These guys were candidates. Hey, if I'm doing quick snaps for Cal Raleigh, it's quick snaps for Aaron Judge. He is the best player in baseball this year, where his WAR is currently at, what everything he is doing on the baseball field. Mariners fans, I'll cut it off. He's really good. Him and Raleigh, that's what I'm talking about. The rest of the outfield gets a little trickier, Coach Trev. Where'd you end up going?
Well, now that I look at it, I love where I ended up here. Yeah,
Okay.
snaps for Aaron Judge. What he has done is otherworldly. I mean, his slugging percentage is a good OPS, so you like that 778 slugging for him.
And the other thing I should
I
tee
ended
up
up
for
with
the
2
people,
games.
we do need a
Excuse me?
center fielder now. That we still, in these 2 remaining outfield spots, we need a center fielder.
I'll give you my center fielder, and call me biased if you want. I know the on-base percentage isn't here, but Byron Buxton is an absolute game changer, and he has been for the Twins. He's been a huge part of why they're in a playoff spot right now. He missed a little bit of time on the concussion IL, but since he's been back, I think it's 4 games, 10 runs driven in. He's a threat on the bases. Like, over the last couple of years, they've decided to, make him not run the bases to try to keep him healthy. This year, they're like, nah, let's just let this guy do what he can do. He's already got 9 swipes, no caught stealings. And honestly, they're never even close. Like, he gets great jumps and plays an amazing center field. Like, he just does everything on a baseball field. We've been highlighting him quite a bit as of late on the broadcast, but for good reason. He's not going to be a guy that gets on base at a huge clip. That's just that kind of like not his game. He will strike out, but he's got power. He's had clutch hitting this year, and then when he does get on base, he's gone, man. He's like you mentioned with J-Ram, he's looking to steal bases. So I went Byron Buxton for center field.
Joe?
Yeah, AL center field is really easy. It's Byron Buxton far and away.
Wow.
You know, the strikeouts will be there. You know he's going to miss some games, but far and away, I think he's the best full round package because he still plays 90th percentile. That's above average defense. He's as fast as Bobby Witt Jr., which I feel like people don't think about when they think of Byron Buxton anymore.
He is so fast.
And he's mashing. He's got 10 homers. So, I mean, this was easy for me. Cedric Mullins had a really nice April. I think he's going to be a fun trade deadline guy to talk about. But for me, this was easy peasy.
And I'll merge the New York-Seattle bridge one more time. Offensively, Trent Grisham has a massive argument for where his stats are at, which is just wild to think about on a couple levels. Not a speed threat, and defensively hasn't been amazing out there. Hasn't really hurt, but and he's also split time in center field with Cody Bellinger, who's come on the scene. But his offensive profile is below that. And then the only other real argument was Julio, which that's where I want to cross the bridge, that what he can do defensively is why he can rack up WAR and is the special player he can be. The OPS sitting at 730 at the end of June, which when you're putting together all JM, you got to really be offensively. There's just other guys that can play defense like Byron Buxton can, that is doing more at the plate. So he will be our center fielder, which means there's one spot left, Jolly.
Yeah, this was interesting. I did think a lot about Trent Grisham. I do think that he gets a little hurt with not playing every day. Boone bounces around that lineup a lot. There's some platoon stuff there. Not all the time. He's been playing most of the time.
Boone's name out your mouth.
Fiery today, Jake.
Yeah.
Jeez. It's the shirt.
Yeah,
got a lot of confidence with the shirt. I gave this one to Willier. The numbers were kind of close that I didn't think anyone had truly dethroned him for his spot. He's not as, I think, hot in the streets as he was in April. April, he was kind of taking over. You saw a highlight of him every night. But I think he's having a really nice season. His walk rate's up from last season. He got 13 home runs, which is pretty wild. He hits to all fields. Just a really well-rounded player, a guy that I would want on my team. But I definitely thought about Quan here. I was really happy to see George Springer on the sheet. That's a cool little story in his contract here. That's interesting. And Riley Green was the only other guy that I really pondered, but he strikes out a little too much. He leads the league in strikeouts right now, so I don't think he earned that spot. So for me, it was Wheelier once again.
Coach Trev?
I went with another AL Central outfielder here in Stephen Kwan. I going back to what does he mean to the team? I mean, it is the Stephen Kwan, Jose Ramirez show in Cleveland. Like, if you're going to go there, I mean, he is just an offensive weapon, very unique type of offensive player. And then, as I was doing a little bit of research into this, I saw this stat: 5 outfield assists. Like, he's got he has a hose. I didn't have Stephen Kwan for having a hose. I watched this guy play a lot, but it's accurate. I think that is the biggest part when you're an outfielder. It's not about how fast you can get rid of it or how big your arm strength is, but it's really is how accurate you are. So Kwan for me, I mean, I could be convinced other ways, but overall, between him, between Abreu, he just got edged out. I'm on Kwan here.
Trev teased the people a little bit there because I submitted my ballot and it has Stephen Kwan on it. I love Wheelier. I bring it up every chance I get. I also love Stephen Kwan, and I think if you can pick Wheelier, this is one of the closer ones that we shouldn't really get lost in, but it's kind of where you landed, Trev. Like, if you're playing Cleveland, you have to plan for Stephen Kwan. Like, Wheelier's kind of new on the Boston game plan. Like, there's a lot of other stuff at the top of the lineup you think of. Defensively, both these guys are studs. Kwan has a little bit more of the longer track record, but you know what you're going to get. I guess for me, the thing is Stephen Kwan is doing exactly what they ask. Like, be at the top of the lineup, hit 315, get on base at a 372 clip. That, yes, his OPS is a little lower, but that's also, it's not who they ask him to be. They ask him to be kind of the more traditional leadoff hitter, and he is, maybe the number one guy. If you're looking for a traditional leadoff hitter in baseball right now, he might be the pick.
Yeah, exactly. You get on base, you steal some swipes. He's got 8 bags to Willier's 4 there. So we both pick Kwan?
Yeah, we're home. We're home, kid. Us AL Central boys. Tough Boston.
You know what I like about him too? I mean, he doesn't rate out great as like sprint speed, but he's still swiping bags.
Baseball fast,
Just
Baseball IQ.
That's what I have.
And like he has never rated out in sprint speed. I thought maybe it was just like down this year for some reason, but he's just a savvy base runner. Sign me up, coach.
Smart. Sorry to Bregman and Wheelier, but and maybe there's a little Boston stank on them right now. If we're just being real about it. Congrats to our outfield of Judge, Buxton, and Quan. Kind of like that.
I'd take that. that might be your all-star outfield, honestly.
Whoa. It does bring us to designated hitter, where I will kick things off, and Boston will take the stink off. I don't know if that's how it works. I picked Rafi Devers amongst a sea of Ryan O'Hearn, Ben Rice, and Brent Rooker. Devers has gone ballistic. One of the best players in baseball for the past month. Jorge Tito Polanco was your ALDH coming out of April. I'm going Devers. I think there's one guy that's close that I think you picked, Jolly. I'm gonna games you and counting stats you, or are you're on the bus?
I kept it simple. I went Rafael Devers. I gave O'Hearn a little nod in my sheet of like having a nice year.
He got the jolly nod.
30 plate appearances against lefties, so he's still a platoon guy. The numbers are good against lefties, but yeah, I mean, you can't give it to a platoon guy. Rice kind of falls in that boat too, and Rooker's having a nice year, but it's Devers, easy.
Yeah, guys, let's not overthink this. Let's give
okay.
snaps
Keep
and
it
move
brief.
on. This is Rafael Devers. I mean, 52 runs driven in, 46 walks. The guy's got a 400 on base percentage. And you know what? He stood up for himself. He's just saying whatever he wants, and he's producing.
Yeah.
So it's cool. If you say whatever you want and don't produce, it's not cool. But when you do produce, you're like a badass.
Trev, you and Poppy defending Devers. I love it. Also, the month of May, 356, 468, 1.074.
It's pretty good.
That'll do it
Good.
for the DH, Rafi Devers. Congrats to him. So, all right, so we need to leave. Well, we'll do the pitcher in a second, but for util, who are guys that we think deserve to be thrown in the util? Do we think Wheelier?
I think Jeremy Pena.
I think I think you can throw a couple shortstops
Pena and
in there.
Bregman, get that fist
Pena
fight
and
going.
Wilson.
Wilson, I think, deserves to be there too.
Pena, Wilson, Bregman. Is it simple as that for your simple ass?
That feels
somebody.
Are there any outfielders that we need to put on there?
It would be Wheelier, I think, and I think he gets outgunned by.
I think so too.
Yeah, let's do the two shortstop and Bregman.
And the former Houston shortstop and Alex Bregman. I like a storyline too. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm sucker media at the end of the day. Starting pitcher. Let's be tight with this because it's always these numbers are just so close. Hunter Brown, Bubich, Crochet, Max Fried, Skubal. I'll give my piece. I went Bubich. I got roped in from that stat we did last episode that he's having the best start to a season since in the AL since Pedro and Verlander. So that was in my head. I couldn't get it out. Where'd you go, Jolliver?
I went Hunter Brown, but this was really hard. I mean, there's a ton of guys with low whips, which I like. Guys have been devouring innings this year. But again, this was another one where the numbers were just kind of close enough that I went with a guy that I thought has a chance to get the whole daisy. But I think I could be convinced on pretty much anyone here except anyone here. Genuinely.
I went Scoobs because he's just the best pitcher in baseball, and I don't think it's really close. Look at his whip, .79. He's had a few blow-up starts, but he's been absolutely dominant in every other start. So, the ERA, it's ballooned to a 2.26. Yeah. This guy, I just don't think there's an argument for best pitcher in baseball right now, so I'm going to go with that guy.
I'm gonna change my vote and keep this simple. I'm going Terry Skubal too. 0.79 whip out of your starting pitcher that leads the league in innings is absurd. That's easy. Let's just keep.
Look at his walk rate.
It's nuts. Strikeouts. Yeah,
he just goes right at people.
I see what happened. If we went to second place, it would be Skubal.
His walk per 9 is 0.8. It's below 1.
Bubich has a 3.5.
That right there alone, like him clapping for himself, is so good. I love that.
And that's why our award show is different.
He's appointment television.
So, congrats to our American League team. Let's get into the NL, baby. And we start with the catchers. This was another. Is it happening, Coach?
It happened, baby.
Will Smith continues to be. Well, actually, wait, no. I thought he won. He got Carson Kelly'd in April. We all got Carson Kelly.
He hasn't. How many pedals has Will Smith had in his career? Like, not many.
We might have to get research and development on that, because if this is the first, my God, Will Smith, probably the best catcher of the decade, takes the throne. It's him, Contreras, Carson Kelly, Gabby Moreno, sneaky on there. Will Smith, I'll end the convo. 342 batting average, 454 on base, a 517 slug. He's got WAR. He's got most other categories. Carson Kelly still with some funny business numbers, but in less games. That Will Smith, it's good to see you. It's good to see you, pal. Let's go.
Best contract ever, maybe?
Let's go.
It's really good.
I'm in. Why not? And there's a single up the middle. National League first base. Always a highly star contested position.
This one's another quick one for me, Pop.
I know, but I guess for me, there's names here that it's, you're fighting through Bryce Harper. You're fighting through Peter Alonso. Jolly. Familiar? Who had a massive April. Not as much.
Freddie's hitting 374.
Yeah.
Reese, he's giving love to the bullpen.
I love all those guys. I
Freddie.
love them all.
Yeah.
Freddie's hitting 374 with a 440 on base percentage. He's slugging 638. He's
and his
one
ankle still
dotting
hurts.
it. What are we doing?
He's still not like 100%. Like, he's
this
doing
the
this on a
best
bust
start
ankle.
of his career?
Yeah. The fact that he's 10 games down from the other guys and has still lapped them in WAR by like a lot is wild.
He leads the NL in doubles. He's turning 36 in September.
It's crazy. Okay, I lied. That's the best contract ever.
Yeah.
They just got Freddie for like free. No one wanted him.
Am I 35?
I wouldn't say it's
36?
free, but
He's 32.
How old?
Never looked better.
Okay. That one always trips me up. It is, yeah, it was a Freddie sweep. It's insane. The stats are
Quietly too, right?
gadzooks.
Like I knew he was good, but
That
not
Shohei
that good.
gets a lot of the clicks out there. Will Smith now. Congrats to Freddie. People are like almost bored with how good Freddie is. Yet he might be better. I guess this one's funky, and I don't know if it's in a good way. It brings us back to the second base position. And we've got Nico Horner and Bryce Terang doing this NL Central defense and slap it around and run a little bit. And, who do you like? The lefty, the righty? Ketel Marte has been out, and he's only played 32 games. That I think knocks him out, but maybe it doesn't. And then Brendan Donovan has sneaky been hitting all year long. Kind of not your defense for second baseman like the first two I mentioned. I'll throw mine out. I went Brendan Donovan. I think the offense for me was too much to overlook compared to the other guys. 329, 390 on base. It's similar to Glaber. Like, that is an elite on base tool with some slug too, an 859 OPS that the two NL Central guys, Horner and Terang, OPS is in the low sevens. That's just a different at bat for any pitcher. I went Donovan. Y'all?
I'm also on Donovan. I think he's. Oh, sorry, you said the jaw. My bad.
No,
You're
it's all good, man.
You're good. You go,
great.
Trev. I'm trying.
Great, awesome.
I'm not. The Knicks are out.
Yeah, now your pick it doesn't count unless you pick Donovan.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk anyway. It's
Okay,
all good.
go ahead.
Do you want this?
What do you got?
Well, we know where you're going, so I'll talk about him when I get the chance. I went Ketel Marte. I know that the game sample is a lot lesser, like 20 games lesser. That's a large chunk of a full month. But at the same time, 8 home runs in 32 games is absurd out of your second baseman. More walks than strikeouts. WAR is not as far apart as you'd think it is, and he's got an OPS above 1,000. That I just think he's such a powerhouse on offense, and he does good enough on defense to make him very clearly, I think, the best second baseman in baseball, not just the National League. The injury does hurt him, and the Brendan Donovan breakout is here. And it's, by the way, go look at his baseball reference if you're not aware. It's
hitter
10 WAR in 4 years. Like, that's pretty good. But for me, I did vote Ketel because I just think by the end of the season, you're going to raise an eyebrow and say, why didn't Ketel win in the first 2 months?
Oh.
Because by the end of the year, he's going to be top 5 in MVP.
I do love me some Ketel Marte. I did fault him for the games played. No doubt about that. But Brendan Donovan's been as consistent can be, and he has been, the main reason. Or you can point to a lot of things the Cardinals are doing well, but I think he got the ship started. That's not a term.
Yeah.
He got the ball rolling for the Cardinals with the way he was swinging the bat early on in the year. He's been the most consistent hitter on the team for very surprising Cardinals team. And for me, it was close, but I think he just did enough offensively to garner my vote.
Congrats to Brendan Donovan on getting the ship going for the Cardinals this year.
Sure.
You guys know
you
guys know I revert sometimes to the basic stats because I think we have gone too far away. For all JM, Ketel Marte currently has 31 hits on the season, or at the end of as we close the books.
Mm-hmm.
Brendan Donovan had 70. So
Ketel Marte hit 8 home runs last month.
Yeah. Hey, you don't have to tell me, man. That best contract.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
check that.
It's like every position, it
check
gets
that
better.
out,
That's
bro.
fun.
Congrats.
Ketel Marte, 18 walks, 17 strikeouts.
He's
Like
coming.
that.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see him next month. Folks, get ready for maybe the most electric part of the episode. The National League shortstop position is brought to you by DirecTV. Whoo! If you're ready to experience baseball like never before, because you're watching us. DirecTV is the ultimate destination for baseball fans, bringing you right into the heart of America's favorite pastime. We'll call it a pastime even. Bases loaded, bottom 9. Here he comes, steps up to the plate. It's your favorite player. Boom. Grand salami. DirecTV. All of MLB's biggest moments this year. They have MLB's most coverage for all of the thrilling moments. And you don't need a satellite anymore, people. That's Chris Rose's generation. It's done. You just have to get yourself some DirecTV. Baseball isn't just a sport, it's a passion. DirecTV. Transform your baseball watching experience. Head to directv.com/johnboy or scan the QR code on screen to learn more. The National League shortstop, I'll peel the curtains. We're men of the people. Or me and Trev are. Jolly was, and now he's kind of drifted away, and he's going to come back.
Appreciate all you guys.
After his midlife
Thanks
crisis.
for watching.
The National League shortstop position, Francisco Lindor last year was amazing and took it over, and he does that. He's Francisco Lindor. Mookie Betts sometimes plays shortstop. He's been in and out and hasn't been playing up to Mookie Betts' level. Trey Turner is lurking here. It's like Trey Turner happening again? Like, thank God. There's a breakout star in baseball, and his name's Geraldo Perdomo. And these two, I told, because we were having Jolly on today, as we want for all JM, so comment how much you guys are loving him. Jim's running around today, literally and figuratively. I said, hey, let's get our votes in before this so we know our landmines for this episode. Jolly, you may be able to assume his vote. Myself, you may be able to assume my vote. Trevor Plouffe on his sheet said, Perdomo/Lindor persuade me. So, Jolly,
Wow.
I know Trev took the mic from you a second ago, and he's doing it again. Trev, what do you have?
Let me explain myself. I mean,
Holy
these guys
shit.
are so evenly matched right now, and I think both of them mean a lot to their teams. Talk about a great contract. Perdomo's contract looking real nice right now. You just go through. I mean, they're both of these players are doing everything right on the baseball field. They're having nice offensive seasons. They're running the bases. They're playing defense, and it's just very, very similar. So I need to know both of your reasons of why you went. I mean, I think I know why for Jolly, but he's usually more. He's not as shallow as just, he's a Met. He usually has something to back up his arguments. I'm curious to see what he says.
Sure, man. I'll do silver lining, devil's advocate stuff first. It's been a weird defensive year for Francisco Lindor. It's not like runaway platinum glove caliber D this year. It's been kind of just fine. I think he has 7 errors. Outside of that, he's mashing from both sides of the plate. When he hits a home run, the Mets win every time. I don't know if people know about that stat. They're 27-0. The last 27 times Francisco Lindor has hit a home run. I just think that he's doing it so much better from the offensive side ever since he moved to that leadoff spot around this time last year. And it hasn't let up to the point where I think it's just going to continue to get better and better. 12 home runs is far and away the most of any shortstop. But I do want to give Perdomo his flowers. Like, he's playing the best baseball of his career by far. Got more walks than strikeouts. Like, he is fully a deserving candidate. It's really a two-horse race in my mind. Mason Wynn also having a nice year. But I went towards the way of slug for this one because I just think that's an element that not a lot of shortstops have. When you think shortstop in the National League especially, you think high batting average, good defense, good speed. When you get 12 home runs from your switch hitting shortstop as well, that's kind of the edge I gave Lindor.
I'll tee it up a little bit. If the one thing I would slightly argue against myself for Perdomo would be I call it the Eddie Rosario theory of where are you in the lineup? Because your stats hitting first, second, or third, if you're doing it from 7, 8, 9, I think there's an effect. The other team is game planning for you, and it's the meat of the lineup. And Perdomo was originally slid up in April to the 2-hole for a chunk of games. He went back to 9 or 7 for a little bit, and then he's gone back to 2 and 3 recently for the Diamondbacks. But there's a chunk of his month that was the 7 or the 9-hole. And again, there's some D-back strategy there. They like flipping the lineup, and this was me being nice to you. Because Perdomo, he goes toe-to-toe with Lindor, if not beats him in everything except home runs. He has Lindor beat in RBI, 41-33.
Leadoff hitter.
Sure. A 9-hole 7 hit. Again.
Peaker Armstrong. Well, he's moved around the lineup as well.
More walks than strikeouts. We've talked about what kind of impact or how special of a hitting season you need to be having that, and Perdomo is doing that from the shortstop position. 11 steals to 10, 2 caught stealings for Lindor, so net 3. And you have another plus defender at shortstop here that it's basically Lindor slugging versus, I don't want to say everything else for Perdomo, but close. That in that conversation, I went for Perdomo.
You guys did not persuade me either way, so I will do it myself like I usually have to do. I'll do it myself. If I just took the names away and looked at these stats and said, who do I want? It obviously is very close, but I'm going Perdomo here. I like the strikeout to walk ratio. Stolen bases are a wash. The runs driven in, there is a substantial difference there. I know Lindor's batting leadoff, and that's circumstantial to maybe the Mets' bottom half of the lineup not getting on base enough.
You guys just want me to leave? You guys are 2v1ing me on all these.
But I value a lot of the things Perdomo brings to the table. And if we're going dollars to war, Perdomo kind of blows Lindor out of the water there, right?
War.
Am I right or wrong?
Last second.
Not Lindor's fault. Hey, man. I'm
over it. Let's move on.
Wow. Snaps for one of the...
And by the way, he's still on track for a silver daisy.
I voted Buxton for you. You changed.
Hey,
you were one way.
You guys didn't convince me. There was no convincing right there.
Trev, I do have bad news for you. Lindor was...
Oh, he did? And he won it in April?
So, hey, Perdomo has been one of the most improved players this year. Or maybe not, because I think he had 3.5 WAR in 100 games last year. More respect needs to be put on his name. I don't know where we're at with young, thick Austin Riley, who he won the third base pedal in the month of April. I don't think it's going to happen again. He is listed. He's outshined by 2 big ones. It's Matt Chapman and Manny Machado. Machado has a significant lean offensively, an 851 OPS, a 308 batting average. Matty Chapman has been walking a ton this year. That's been impressive to see. Matt Chapman, these are 2 defensive legends. Matt Chapman, I do think, is still doing it at a slightly higher level, including game-winning plays. Trev, I guess Chappie's your guy. Is he your guy?
It's my guy.
Yeah.
Not just my guy. This one was interesting for me. I do love, I am a huge Manny Machado supporter. I'm like the only one in the national media that supports him and tells it like it is.
Crazy.
I went with Matt Chapman here, and I'm thinking about these guys at their best. And I think right now, Matt Chapman at his best edges Manny Machado out as an overall baseball player. So that's where I went. I think, they do different things. I think Machado's offensive profile, for the most part, is going to be better than Matt Chapman's, although Chapman can be very streaky and really carry a team. Yeah, defensively, he is 101 over there. So I lent Chapman. This is something that I could be convinced otherwise, but I'm just thinking that was my thought process. Like at their best, who do I want right now? And I think it's Matt Chapman.
Jacko?
This one was really tight for me, so I also can be persuaded if we need it. I did go Manny Machado. Machado does have less homers. He's not walking as much. But the WAR is similar. He crushes Chapman in batting average. So for me, it kind of came to Chapman's also striking out a ton, which I didn't love. 57 strikeouts versus 38 for Machado. It came down to kind of what Trev was saying of who would I rather have on my team. And I went the other way. I think I'd rather have Manny Machado. It seems like every night he's coming up with a big hit for the Padres. I think that defense outs above average doesn't love him, but I'd still trust that glove at third base, if I'm being honest. And I just think the potential over a full season swings in favor of Manny Machado. Because you look at his past 5 years, he does it every year. 30 homers, 100 RBIs, solid D, 5 WAR. Like that's, what you're going to get with Manny Machado. Whereas I feel month by month, Matt Chapman can either be the best hitter in your lineup or he can be an absolute black hole. And there's kind of no in between. That's been his whole career. So I went Machado.
This was one of the fun tough ones because it's Chapman Machado. You can lean into the defense a little more, and Matty does enough offensively that he obviously has a strong profile over there. And then if we're talking about this coming down to defense, like it's Manny Machado still. Like I know if Chapman's one of one right now, Manny's one of three. Like it's I went Machado. I won't sugarcoat it.
Didn't get 2v1. Didn't get 2v1.
Teaming up on me.
Let's go.
No, because I respect the game. And Manny's been great, dude. He's a little more contact. I'll say slappy. 17 doubles to 9 doubles for Chapman. So that's kind of your less or more than the gap in home runs. I'm not gonna total base people here. I went Manny Machado. 851 OPS and 793 OPS. Those are two different players in my head offensively. Where I can still bank on Manny making a play.
I love Manny Machado. I'm not going to be mad about it.
I heard you're the only person in the national media actually that defends him.
Thank God.
That gives him his respect.
Only one.
Oh, he's bad for the clubhouse. He
pulls the fire alarm and then blames it on someone else.
Have you talked to anybody in the Padres?
I haven't. No.
Okay.
Shout
out Sean Reynolds, my guy.
Shout out to Sean Reynolds. Judge, Cal Raleigh, Shohei Ohtani. Your designated hitter. I'll fast forward a little bit.
Tough for Schwarbs, man.
I know. Schwarby.
Brutal.
19 homers to 22 from Shohei, and then that's another one you land. Some speed and pitching hasn't gotten involved in this, but Shohei will win the DH position.
Vote Schwarber for util if you're listening to the show.
Oh, yeah, that'll be coming up.
Do that.
That's how you tease him.
Because he deserves to be here.
The National League center field. We finished April with Corbin Carroll, Fernando Tatis Jr., and our center fielder, JHL, Jung-Hoo Lee, the Hooligans. Again, I don't want to re-listen to that because I don't know who said what.
You went for PCA. I went for Jung-Hoo Lee. It was tough for me, and then Jimmy came in and said Jung-Hoo Lee. So we're going to blame this one on Jimmy.
Well, I wasn't involved in this. That's good.
PCA is going. He should have won a Silver Daisy this year. He's going to be that guy. So this is a tough one for the LJM team. Obviously, we're going PCA for our center fielder in this exercise. Snaps to you. I mean, this guy is I believe second in the league or second in all of baseball in runs driven in with absolutely electric defense and 17 swipes and the coolest guy but also a grounded team player. You don't get that too often, It's guys that grew up in Southern California that played in the Mission League. That's where you get that. Like PCA and myself.
Shout out to the other center fielders. I don't know, in a competitive NL outfield, I don't think any of them are going to get the true shout out, but O'Neill Cruz, Andy Pajes, and TJ Friedel, all getting it done in very different ways. A little snaps for baseball there. PCA from the center field position, and even if it wasn't, I think he'd be the number one outfielder. But that's where things get kind of crazy because Corbin Carroll, Fernando, Kyle Tucker, James Wood, Jolly.
I think there's another clear one.
Okay.
I think James Wood is on our team, guys.
I
don't think you can say anything otherwise.
It's happening, folks.
I was trying to build up the moment, but the man's right.
Last spot is build it up.
For the last spot, yes, but James Wood has been the second best outfielder in the National
So we
League.
shouldn't mess with his swing? We don't need more launch? You think we can let it ride?
Let it ride. He's going to be okay, man. I mean, the things that he's been doing, and just if you watch his plate appearances and the way he can spray the ball to all fields, he's so balanced in the box. 9 swipes for him as well, so he's not like a lunker. He's learning to play left field there, but what he's done offensively has been really, really fun to watch.
And that word was lunker.
Yeah. And look, we're looking at the highest OPS on our sheet.
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing.
Jolly Fraser White. James Wood is happening. And
he's 22 years old. He's got a 90th percentile walk rate.
He's 6'7". He can run. It's like some guys the game just looks easy for, that he's in that boat.
He mashes the ball.
Okay,
Where
so
would the Padres be?
How's your young NL outfield with PCA and James Wood? Jack, who do we round it out with?
Yeah, this was in my opinion, the hardest decision of the whole bout. Who gets this last outfield spot? Give your flowers to Ramos and Stowers. That rhymes. They've been good, but they're not in the conversation for me. It came down to Nando, Tucker, Corbin Carroll, and it was difficult. I think it's funny that Corbin's the one of the 3 that leads in home runs. That'll always just surprise me. Just like such a powerful swing. It looks like it's all shoulder. But he's been slugging the crap out of the ball. He was a tough snub for me. I didn't end up going to Corbin Carroll. I didn't. The walk to strikeout rate was much lesser than the OBP. It's down 327. The slug is very high. He's got the OPS for sure. The WAR's there. But he fell off the ballot for me a little bit at the end. And then it came down to Tucker and Nando. I really like the way Fernando Tatis Jr. plays the outfield. I think that arm is the best in baseball, maybe, that weapon. I mean, it's up there. I did give this one to Kyle Tucker. 12 home runs, 16 swipes without getting caught. Not really what you think of when you think of what Kyle Tucker does best. More walks than strikeouts, an on-base near 400. He slugs over 500, had the highest OPS of those 3. He's on the fast track to a $400 million, $500 million contract.
Whatever, however much Uncle Steve's got.
Hey, come on.
You know?
It was him for me, but this was a really tough one because any of these 3 guys, I think, could be deserving of that spot.
Coach?
This is Kyle Tucker for me. It is. I mean, yes, like Corbin Carroll and Fernando Tatis Jr., they deserve a shout out. They've been having very nice seasons, but as you mentioned, I mean, Kyle Tucker, 40 walks, 32 Ks for a guy that slugs 520.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? You mentioned the 16 swipes. I mean, it's that outfield for the Cubs right now is incredible.
You mentioned Cubs outfield. It's interesting. As a position unit, right? You know, if we were to draft them.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know where. Stop interrupting me as I'm talking poetically about.
Stop interrupting you.
Abraham Lincoln motherfucker.
Go back to bed.
It's Kyle Tucker, guys. I don't know what we're doing.
It is.
The Cubs outfield is. Let me start again. Happer, PCA, and Kyle Tucker. It's insane.
It's good to hear. It's just good to hear. I don't know. 3rd overall pick.
Seiya Suzuki. congrats. It's PCA, Kyle Tucker, and James Wood.
Did you have Tucker as well?
I did, yeah.
Nice. Okay, cool.
It feels weird. Corbin Carroll having the most home runs. You're like, what? And just who Fernando is in general. The stolen bases thing just will never make sense in my head. With King Tuck, I think he just got caught for the first time in like 30 attempts. It went back to last year.
He's a 30th percentile sprint speed too. Like he's like down there.
Savvy.
He's a great baseball player.
IQ.
So for you, Till, in the National League, Jolly, you put Kyle Schwarber out there.
I think he deserves
that
to be
is
there.
fair.
Yeah.
And Cubs fans may be yelling for Seiya, but I don't know. Marcel Ozuna, the Big Bear. I guess who else should go on this? Who lost short? Lindor.
Lindor and Corbin, I think, or the other two.
Lindor. Any of the 1B? No.
Chappie, maybe.
I might.
Lindor, Schwarbs, and who else, Trev?
Either Corbin or Nando.
I think it's Corbin.
I think it's Corbin too.
Okay, let's put Corbin.
I think it's Corbin.
Sorry, Nando.
Sorry, Nando. Okay. So those will be the fan vote. And I have great news for the people at starting pitcher. We did have a sweep.
Nice.
And I think I understand why. Sanga has the low ERA, but also the lowest quality starts. Only 5 quality starts on the year. Partially similar story with Yamamoto. 1.97 ERA, only 64 innings pitched. So if you're looking for one of the workhouse dogs, okay, that's a workhorse pitchers who are dogs. Paul Skinnes. I think it's happened, boys. I think it's happened. Why are you shaking your head?
Stop calling him Skinnes. Dude, every time.
You know, I kind of gravitated right towards Skeens because I just kept seeing all these statistics about him and how bad the freaking Pirates are. And oh my gosh, Skeens with another 8 1/3 no-run start that he doesn't get the win in. But Zach Wheeler, what he's done is...
I'm holding the line. I'm staying Skeens.
I'm seeing at some point ERA
it's very comparable. It's at least a discussion between Skeens and Zach Wheeler here.
At some point, ERA does have to matter. Skeens is at 2.15. Wheeler's at 2.96. They have the same amount of quality starts. They have a very similar amount of innings.
Same whip.
Wheeler's got the strikeouts. I would. So if you're basically what it comes down to is more strikeouts versus ERA, and most times in that argument, I'm gonna lean ERA.
And Yamamoto's like, hey, what about me?
2 quality.
This is a little bit closer than I think we're making it. I'm okay with going Skeens here, but it's a little closer than I think
I'd say it's similar to the NL outfield we just did. Like, we could dance around a lot of options, and they're all very good, but I think with the whole starting package you're looking for, I think it's Skeens or Wheeler, and then if you're going Wheeler with a 2.96, like you got Sangl with a 1.6, that I think Skeens hits the most dots, and I think that's why we picked him. You could take it back if you want, and it would be irrelevant.
Paul Skeens, congratulations.
Congrats.
Who won it in April?
Paul Skeens.
Paul Skeens.
You're welcome.
No, Pavetta.
Oh, he did?
Full pension.
No. It changed.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember this.
Oh.
This was a whole thing.
Whoa.
This was a big thing.
I missed that.
I remember that day. How'd that happen? I forget how that happened.
Okay. So, in summary, in the American League, we had Cal Raleigh, Jonathan Aranda at first base, Gleyber Torres at second, Bobby Witt Jr., controversial, Jose Ramirez at third, Aaron Judge keeps it going, Byron Buxton, Stephen Kwan. Both these outfields are fun. Devers at DH and Tarek Skubal. We're so chalky at pitcher. Will Smith in the National League is your catcher. Have we... Quick research. Is this the first one?
First one.
No way, really?
That's
21.
Holy
insane.
shit.
Special day.
Who's it been? It's been Sean Murphy.
William Contreras, I think. got
William
some.
Contreras.
Yeah.
Real Muto probably got a couple.
Yeah, it's always the bridesmaid,
That's
never
wild.
the bride until today. Congrats, Will Smith.
That's wild.
Freddie Freeman at first base, Brendan Donovan at second, Perdomo At shortstop, Machado. That's your left side. In the outfield, means no word. Pete Crow Armstrong, James Wood. My goodness. And then Kyle Tucker, Shohei Ohtani, and Paul Skeens round out the National League. Trev?
Can I do some algorithm stuff?
Sure.
In the comments, let us know who we should have picked, but also which team would win.
Oh,
I don't think we ever talk about that.
I think it's an easy one for me.
NL.
I'm NL.
Yeah, same.
That's where my dogs
They
at.
can't win if they
They're
can't
a little
score
weak
runs
at
off
shortstop,
Scooble,
but
though.
otherwise I like NL.
Yeah, Skeens ain't bad either. It's close. It's closer than I just.
We got a lot of lefties in that NL lineup, and we got Scoobs just ready to mow them down.
Oh wow, the matchup. Let us know, people. Let us know what you think would happen in that game.
And it is time for Bet the Cycle, brought to you by DraftKings. Use code JMBaseball when you sign up with the DraftKings Sportsbook. Now, going over last week, we did a banger of a job. We hit our single. That was Manny Machado to record 1 total base. He did that. He had 2 total bases. We hit our double. Chris Sale had 8 Ks. We had to have him over 7 Ks against the Phillies. Got that. Our triple was there as well. The Astros scored a run in the first inning against Taj Bradley. We missed the homer. We wanted Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani both to homer on Sunday Night Baseball. They did it on Friday, but not on Sunday. So 3 for 4, not bad. This week, here's what we're going with. With the single, we're going with the Royals and Michael Wacha to beat the White Sox on Saturday. That one seems like a layup to me. Wacha threw 7 shutout innings in his last starts. That was against Scooble. He's 6-1 in 10 career starts versus the White Sox. And this is kind of good team, bad team. So I'm in on this one. For the double, we have Dylan Cease and Robbie Ray each to record 6+ Ks on Thursday afternoon getaway day. You know, these guys, they want to get on the plane. They're going to be done. Plus, it's Dylan Cease and Robbie Ray. They rank in the top 10 of NL in Ks per 9. Both nearly have 10+ Ks per 9 on the season. I like that one as well. For our triple, this is where we start to get a little bit more dicey. Javi Baez to record a homer versus Jameson Taillon on Friday. Here are the numbers. Javi Baez versus Taillon. He's 12 for 21. That's a 571 average, 4 doubles and 2 home runs. And Taillon has allowed the second most homers in the National League on the road since 2024. He also has an ERA of 4.7. So we're looking for Javi Baez to continue his run against Jameson Taillon. And here we go for the homer. The Yankees record a dramatic 1-run victory versus the Red Sox on Sunday Night Baseball. The Red Sox have 17 1-run losses this season. That's incredible. That's obviously the most in Major League Baseball. They're on pace to tie the 1968 White Sox for most 1-run losses in a season at 44. Those are our picks. Follow along if you will. We went 3 for 4 last week. Let's try to go 4 for 4 this week. All right. As you can see, I just got left to myself here. And this is when the show is at its best. We get rid of those 2 jabronis, and it's just Coach Trev talking ball. That's all we need. Jake sucks. I give you guys a tour of my hotel room, but I can't really move my camera around. It's nice. Got a lamp here, a lamp there. The only thing I got a qualm with is these little tiny coffee mugs. What am I supposed to do with this thing? Give me a big mug, people.